Let me ask you something honest. How many times have you known the answer? You had the words, you had the idea, you knew what you wanted to say, but you stayed quiet. Not because you didn't know English, but because you were afraid of getting it wrong. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know something important. That fear is not a sign that you are bad at English. That fear is a sign that you care. And caring is actually the first ingredient of fluency. But here is the problem. Fear that is never challenged becomes a wall, and that wall gets thicker every time you choose silence over speaking. Every time you let the moment pass, every time you tell yourself, maybe next time. Today, we are going to start breaking that wall down. Welcome to Dr. Speak Now. I'm Anna. This is the Confidence and Mindset series, and this is episode 1. This series is not just about vocabulary and sentences. It is about rewiring the way you think about speaking English. Because fluency is not just a language skill, it is a mental skill. And today, we are training both. If this is your first time here, welcome. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. If you've been here before, welcome back. Let's get into it. Today in episode 1, we are tackling the #1 enemy of English fluency, the fear of making mistakes. Here is the truth that most English courses never tell you. Mistakes are not the opposite of fluency. Mistakes are the path to fluency. Every single fluent English speaker on the planet got there by making thousands of mistakes, not by avoiding them, by making them, and continuing anyway. Today's shadowing sentences are going to help you internalize that truth. Not just understand it intellectually, but feel it in your bones and express it in natural, confident English. Here is how this episode works. I say each sentence at a natural pace. You hear it once, then a short pause. That pause is your moment. Speak out loud. Repeat exactly what you hear. Copy the rhythm, the tone, the natural flow. Don't just listen. Speak. That is the Dr. Speak Now way. Speak English. Don't just study it. Before we begin the shadowing practice, let's cover today's 5 vocabulary words. Word number 1, hesitate. To hesitate means to pause before doing something because you are uncertain or afraid. She hesitated before speaking, but then took a breath and said exactly what she meant. Word number 2, perfectionism. Perfectionism is the belief that anything less than perfect is not acceptable, a mindset that often prevents action entirely. His perfectionism was the real reason he never practiced speaking. He was waiting until he was ready. He never was. Word number 3, resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover quickly from difficulty, failure, or embarrassment. The most fluent speakers are not the most talented. They are the most resilient. Word number 4, normalize. To normalize something means to make it feel ordinary and acceptable rather than strange or shameful. Once she normalized making mistakes in English, her speaking improved faster than it ever had before. Word number 5, progress over perfection. This is a phrase, not just 2 words. Progress over perfection means choosing to move forward imperfectly rather than staying still waiting for perfect conditions. She adopted a simple mantra, progress over perfection, and it changed everything about how she learned. 5 words, hesitate, perfectionism, resilience, normalize, progress over perfection. Let's begin. Listen carefully. Repeat out loud during every pause. Speak clearly and confidently. Here we go. I used to hesitate every time I wanted to speak English, but I'm learning to push through it. I used to hesitate every time I wanted to speak English, but I'm learning to push through it. Making mistakes is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that I am trying. Making mistakes is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that I am trying. Every mistake I make in English is teaching me something I couldn't learn any other way. Every mistake I make in English is teaching me something I couldn't learn any other way. I am letting go of perfectionism because it was keeping me silent. I am letting go of perfectionism because it was keeping me silent. I choose progress over perfection every single time I open my mouth. I choose progress over perfection every single time I open my mouth. Let me stop here for a moment. That sentence, I choose progress over perfection, is one of the most powerful mindset shifts a language learner can make. Perfection is a destination that doesn't exist. Progress is something you can achieve right now in this moment with exactly the English you have today. Remember that. Now let's continue. I am building resilience every time I speak, even when I feel uncertain. I am building resilience every time I speak, even when I feel uncertain. I no longer wait until I feel ready, because ready never comes if you keep waiting. I no longer wait until I feel ready, because ready never comes if you keep waiting. I normalize making mistakes by reminding myself that every fluent speaker made them too. I normalize making mistakes by reminding myself that every fluent speaker made them too. The embarrassment of making a mistake lasts a moment. The confidence of trying lasts forever. The embarrassment of making a mistake lasts a moment. The confidence of trying lasts forever. I speak even when my sentences are imperfect, because imperfect sentences still communicate. I speak even when my sentences are imperfect, because imperfect sentences still communicate. Stop. Read that sentence again in your mind. Imperfect sentences still communicate. Your job in a conversation is not to be grammatically flawless. Your job is to be understood. And you can be understood with the English you have right now. That is enough. Keep going. I am not afraid of correction. I welcome it because it accelerates my improvement. I am not afraid of correction. I welcome it because it accelerates my improvement. I remind myself that silence never taught anyone a language. I remind myself that silence never taught anyone a language. The more I speak, the less frightening speaking becomes. The more I speak, the less frightening speaking becomes. I am training my brain to associate speaking English with courage, not with fear. I am training my brain to associate speaking English with courage, not with fear. Today, I choose to speak, not perfectly, but bravely. Today, I choose to speak, not perfectly, but bravely. Let's review today's 5 vocabulary words one final time. Hesitate. Every time you hesitate, ask yourself, what is the worst that actually happens if I speak? Usually, the answer is nothing. Perfectionism. Perfectionism is not a high standard. It is fear wearing a disguise. Don't let it win. Resilience. Resilience is built one uncomfortable moment at a time. Every time you speak through the fear, you get stronger. Normalize. Normalize mistakes by making them openly and moving forward without apology. That is what fluent speakers do. Progress over perfection. Write this somewhere you will see it every day. Progress over perfection. It is the fastest path to fluency that exists. That is a wrap on episode 1 of the Doctors Speak Now Confidence and Mindset series. You just practiced the language and the mindset of a fearless English speaker. These sentences are not just shadowing practice, they are a new way of thinking about what it means to learn and speak a language. Come back and run through this episode again. The second time will feel easier. The third time will feel natural. And natural is exactly where we are going. In episode 2, we are tackling something that stops so many learners cold, thinking in English instead of translating in your head. If you have ever felt your brain slow down because you are trying to translate from your native language first, episode 2 is going to change how you process English forever. Subscribe to Dr. Speak Now. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is the mistake you are most afraid of making in English? I read every single comment and I want to know. Speak English. Don't just study it. I'll see you in episode 2.